Brandon, first of all, thanks a million for speaking to us.
Cheers, pleasure.
Congratulations on an
Thanks.
absolutely cracking film.
Thanks very much.
Another brilliant role from yourself. And there's a
Yeah.
real wryness to this guy as well. And he always feels like he's one step ahead of the audience and one step ahead of everybody else. Was that always the intention with starting out to play him?
Well, he's a man who's very, bizarrely happy in his own skin for somebody who's so lonely. I mean, I think he's emotionally kind of a little bit isolated, more than a little bit. But actually, he's extraordinarily convinced that he has the right to live in the world and live it as he sees it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of really refreshing, and he has that kind. So he kind of provokes people, and he kind of upscuttles people and ruffles their feathers and throws all sorts of rubbish out just to kind of test people and see how they respond. And he is very bright, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's not often you see characters like this in any
No,
kind of
I
mainstream
know.
production. So it must have been a real treat for yourself, for somebody to kind of get
Yeah.
your teeth into, because not many actors get to play guys like this.
No, they don't. And I remember, when I read the thing, I said, okay, I want to do it. I met John, and I just said, I want to do it. And I was trying to set up at Swim at the time, and he was saying, yeah, well, we're going to try and go for the autumn. And I said, well, I hope you don't get it then. Because I might have to walk away from this, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
But anyway, when it came, they actually did get financed, and, at Swim, was delayed. And the offer came in, I just, and immediately, and it went out the same day, I think, to Don, and he immediately said yes. So, John has said, like, we just said yes in the same week. Well, like, once you come to the end, you say, yeah, please. It was just brilliantly written script.
And Don Cheadle, he's not somebody you'd instantly put in a movie like this set on the west coast of Ireland, and Connemara on the west coast. How was it playing off? Don, he's great in it as well. There's a real dynamic between the two of you.
Well, he's phenomenal, and like there's a phrase like going around like straight man. It's much more than that. He's kind of he brings an absolute wealth of subtlety and experience and life experience to it. You know what I mean? So all the ignorance that Boyle is deliberately thrown at him just to kind of ruffle him up a little bit, which is kind of outrageous, really.
Yeah.
It is actually a sore spot, and of course that's why Boyle keeps twisting at it. And I think the thing with Jerry Boyle is that he went in. I've been trying to kind of come to a backstory with him, or I did ages ago.
Was he in the Olympics?
Pardon? Was he in the Olympics? You can always look it up. He basically, I think, went into the cops with a feeling. I think he grew up without a man. That's my thing in the house. That the mother brought him up. The father was away for whatever reason or gone, not there. And that he had a notion of male heroism that was kind of gleaned from movies. And he kind of in some way felt that he'd be up to a Gary Cooper type scene in High Noon, walking down the street against the baddies. In some odd idealistic way, this was kind of where he went into the Guards. And he saw guys in there that were kind of, desk jockeys and were just looking out the window and were, avoiding things and turning a blind eye and maybe putting a few bob in the back pocket, and it just all kind of became turgid and dull. He didn't have these challenges, so he became quite settled and cynical, and he began to, amuse himself by kind of more or less, he had a fierce kind of an honesty about and an integrity. He just threw it out in people's faces.
Yeah.
So political correctness was the other thing, and something like racism. He's not remotely racist in my taking on it, but he'll just throw it at people, so that the words that people profess, not to want to hear, or that in a way, he just throws it out to see what people will do. And I think all the time he's yearning to find somebody who's going to actually reawaken his faith.
But it's been a cracking couple of years for Irish film in particular. They say, the best creativity comes out of downtrodden situations.
Yeah.
But it seems to have, like, In Bruges seems to have been a bit of a catalyst for, Irish films in that, in terms of edgy tone and stuff like that. How seminal do you feel that, or influential do you feel that In Bruges was? Just even a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
As directors now gone out there and making films for very little money and making them look great with similar tone.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, the point is, I mean, In Bruges was partly a British film as well. There's a lot of
We can claim it though because you and Colin. And
well, yeah, of course. No, but I mean, it is. But you'd hope that it was, But I mean, a lot of the thing, we can't go around banging ourselves on the back for telling us we're great fellas for producing In Bruges, because it's not entirely true. That it was the both things, and we need to kind of wise up to all that. We can take, I think, great pride in it being of us, but it's not exclusively of us. So, there's a difference between taking legitimate pride and blowing about stuff that, everybody trying to, haul in somebody that,
yeah.
I mean, I thought that was great yesterday where, Enda Kenny says something about, Irishmen by desire. type of thing. It was
Yeah.
funny because, you know, you got to be careful about taking all the credit for everything. At the same time, we are producing stuff, but we have to be, the point I'm trying to make is we have to be really vigorous and really hard on ourselves in terms of what the standards are. Like, In Bruges was a brilliantly written script. That's why it worked. It wasn't because it was Irish. And in fact, In Bruges was about two English guys, initially two Cockneys. And Martin reluctantly changed them, you know, when eventually that's where the casting was going to go. Because he was hoping kind of... So, in fact, everybody thought it was real Dublin humour or it was real Irish humour. It was actually written for two Cockneys. Now, kind of Martin's relationship with Ireland anyway is kind of pretty intermingled. So it's not as clear. But I think we have to be careful about taking... I think we need to be confident. But the main thing is we have to be vigorous in the way that we look at the writing that we do. And we try not to allow just dross to come out because it gives us... It's bad for us. On the other hand, we have to take a chance with stuff that is potentially brilliant, but that may escape.
Yeah.
And all films will not work. You can't go from beginning to end of a film process, even with the best material in the world and the best people you can get. All things right, wonderful crew, great, you know, and then you go into an editing room and the thing can turn to dust and like it can just turn into nonsense. So like it's a very difficult thing to achieve anything. So there is a kind of we're making enough good stuff here to continue to be, that is really important and we keep doing it. You know, I don't know, we just have to work really hard though at kind of making sure that the standard is up.
Yeah.
You know, and as I say, not take undue credit for stuff that actually, when stuff needs to be hauled in, if it's writing or if it's whatever the stuff, that we make sure we get the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And before I let you go, of course, you talked about Irish filmmaking there, and you're set to make your own one. That's
Yeah,
Twin
yeah.
Two Boards. I was speaking to you for Perry's Bounty last year, and you were
yeah.
kind of gearing up towards it. Where are you now with that? And are you looking forward to it?
I am looking forward to it, yeah. I'm in a very good place with it in the sense that we're confident it's going to go in the spring and in a kind of a very solid way we didn't have before because it was such a kind of mad time over the last couple of years. Just it's going to take a little bit to reorganise the troops because it's been postponed so often. But obviously I'm breaking about it too. You know, it's a big chance, and I have to, you know, after making all these statements, you know, I have to make sure that everything I do, that I don't leave stones unturned, and then just hope that the magic remains in the can when we get into the editing room and finishing it. So we'll just hope for the best.
I'm looking forward to seeing it, Brandon.
Cheers.